Did you know that you can make amazing projects with your printer? You can, but there are some printers that are better than others. But that doesn't mean you have to break the bank. Today I'm sharing my top 3 printers for crafters at every price point. Hey, I'm Amber Kemp-Christelle, founder of YayDay Paper Co., where every month we release awesome bundles of printable stationery, stickers, 3D projects, and more, all as part of our affordable monthly subscription. Here on the YayDay Paper Co. YouTube channel, you'll find lots of tips, tutorials, and tricks for how to make beautiful projects with a tool you're already familiar with, your printer. Today, I'm answering a super important question that I get asked all the time. Yeah, I want to make printables, but what printer should I use? Today I'm breaking it down with my 3 favorite printers, and you don't have to spend a ton of money to make beautiful things. I love giving out medals to all of my favorite products, so we're gonna do it again right now. I'm giving the bronze medal to this printer right here. It is the Canon Pixma TS3320. I love it for a few reasons. One is it has a really small footprint, which is great if you don't have a huge crafting space. It also has that all-important rear feed tray. It's a must-have. Here's why. This printer actually only has a rear tray, whereas most printers have a bottom tray and a top tray. Either way, let me explain to you why that rear tray is a must-have. When you're printing with thicker materials, your paper, if it's in a main tray on the bottom, has to go in and then loop around and then come back out. That's why stuff gets jammed all of the time, especially if it's a specialty paper or a thicker cardstock. When you have a rear tray, you simply place the paper into the rear tray and the printer can smoothly feed it out the front. No snags, your print comes out beautiful every time. Now back to this printer. On top, there's a small screen where you can control features like copying or scanning. It also features a wireless setup, so you don't have to be tethered to your printer in order to make projects. And then there also is a 2 ink cartridge system here. So you're just gonna need a black ink cartridge and a color ink cartridge, which sometimes can be a little less expensive, but it can cut down on some of your color options. We are gonna put this printer to the test so you can be the decision maker on what you think about how it prints. Now it's time to put this printer to the test. We're gonna test it on several different YayDay Paper Co. prints, as well as several different materials. This way we can see how it prints and also how it handles some of those thicker materials that you might want to use in your creative projects. First, we're going to test a dense borderless print. I'm printing one of the patterns from our Making It collection, which is packed with lots and lots of color. Let's see if this printer can handle it. For this print, I'm using Canon double-sided photo matte paper. This print looks great, but you'll notice we didn't get a borderless print. That's because the TS3320 doesn't allow for borderless printing on letter-sized paper. It does, however, let you print borderless on other sizes, like 3.5 by 5, 4 by 6, 5 by 7, and 5 by 5. Next up, I tried a different pattern paper print that was a bit more sparse and didn't have that bold background. I used, again, that Canon photo matte paper, and I really love how these came out. They don't have that borderless edge, of course, for letter-sized papers, but the colors look great, there's no streaking, and so I would say this is a winner when it comes to printing out full pages of pattern papers. Next up, with the Canon TS3320 printer, I wanted to try stickers because everybody loves stickers. I printed on my favorite Online Labels weatherproof matte for inkjet. The colors look great, the printer was able to handle the paper without any problem, so I would say, for stickers, I give this one a thumbs up. For this, I wanted to print one of our YayDay greeting cards onto the Red River 88-pound polar matte cardstock. Now, it doesn't sound like much, it just sounds like a bunch of words, but this is actually the thickest cardstock available on the market. And here's my example for showing you just how thick it is. It's gonna be weird, but I promise it'll convince you. So this is a piece of text weight paper that you would probably use in your printer most days of the week. You see how thin and flimsy it sounds? Well, listen to this. This is that 88-pound polar matte that I was just telling you about. It's thick. You hear how thick that sounds? This stuff is no joke, and there are very few printers on the market that can handle it. Matter of fact, any printer that doesn't have a rear tray cannot accept this paper. I was able to print on this thick paper with the TS3320 without a problem. It ran through, it gave me a beautiful smooth print. I will say that the colors are a little more muted and dull than I would have liked, but we'll compare it when we're done to see how the other printers fared. All right. Our last test print. I wanted to use a fun material for this one, so I grabbed some Printable glitter cardstock. Yes, friends, it exists. I'm telling you, if there is a printable material out there, I will find it. This one is thick and it has a glitter finish, so there's probably a lot of printers that will get this jammed. Not this one. I was able to print this rainbow design and it came out perfectly. I would have loved it if this print was a little brighter, but honestly, for a printer like this that's super affordable, I would say this turned out really great. Amazingly, the super affordable Canon Pixma TS3320 was able to handle everything I threw at it. It doesn't come without its limitations though. Remember, you can't print borderlessly on letter size paper, which may be a deal breaker for you. But for a printer at this price point, I do think it makes a great printer for crafters. Next up, our silver medal winner for the best printer for crafters is the Canon Pixma 5320. Now, the first thing you're noticing about this printer is it's pink! I know, it's a pink printer and it's amazing, but I'll be honest, this color is tough to come by these days. This printer does also come in black, white, and mint. But truthfully, the color has nothing to do with the function. The TS5320 has that all-important rear tray, and it also has the ability to copy and scan, making it really versatile. Last, you will have a dual ink system on this printer, which means you need 2 cartridges in order to get it to print. Compared to our bronze medalist printer, this girl can handle a lot more paper sizes as well, which is nice for crafters since we like to make with all sorts of materials. Just like we did before, I tested this printer on all of the same prints and all of the same material. Both the dense print and the more sparse prints turned out perfectly, and you'll notice that we got borderless prints on this printer. Yay! The TS5320 was also able to handle that glitter paper, the sticker paper, and that super heavyweight 88-pound polar matte cardstock. I compared the prints from the bronze medal and the silver medal printers, and I did find that the silver medal printer created bolder colors with better differentiation. For example, notice how much brighter the colors are on this print compared to this one. Last up, our gold medal printer, or as I like to call it, the Rolls-Royce of printers for crafters. The Canon Pixma TS9521C crafting printer has all the bells and whistles you could need when getting crafty with your printer. First, let's get the obvious out of the way. This printer was able to handle all of the prints and all of the materials that I threw at it without a problem. So let's talk about some of the other features that this printer offers. The large LCD display is really easy to access and read. With that screen, you can access a bunch of fun pre-designed prints that are loaded directly onto the machine for you to print out quickly and easily. Another feature of this printer that is a big hit is the ability to print borderlessly on 7x10 cardstock, which means you can print a pattern paper design, fold it in half, and make a quick greeting card. You can also print borderlessly on 12x12 paper, which is a game changer. If you want to make your own scrapbooking pages, you can do it on this machine. One thing I've noticed when printing 12x12 paper on this printer is that the colors come out just a little more muted than they do when printing on letter size. It's still super vibrant and bright, but you might notice a difference. On YayDay, we offer all of our prints in a 12x12 version, which means if you own this printer, you're going to have a lot of fun with your YayDay co-prints. One thing I do want to talk about is the ink for this printer. Unlike the others, this uses a 5-color individual ink tank system. That means that you only need to replace the color when you run out of it, and you can leave the others until you've used up the last drop. Alright, now that we've reviewed all of my 3 printer choices, let's take a look at some of the prints and compare what they look like. That way you'll be able to see exactly what you're getting with the printer that you want to buy. When comparing our bronze medal printer to our gold medal printer, you can see that the gold medal printer gives you brighter colors. It also gives you that wonderful borderless print. When looking at our greeting card print, you can see that the bronze medal printer was a lot more dull. It doesn't mean that the print wasn't beautiful, and honestly, you probably wouldn't even notice if you didn't compare it to the other ones we printed today. When comparing the silver medal printer to the gold medal printer, there is a difference, but it's much less noticeable. I really hope this review has given you a good idea about what printer might work best for you. You don't have to spend a lot of money to get really quality prints, but if you really want to get that perfect, colorful print every time, I always stick with the TS9521C. Come visit me over at YayDayPaper.com, where we're always keeping you up to date about what printers are in stock and giving you lots of creative tools to get crafty with your printer. Hi! Who says hi like that? Printers that are better. I'm gonna show you so close, but that's gonna be a brick neck. Have a rear tray. That's a really nasty sound. way to Miami. I feel like there's no streaking. Well, I don't feel like it. There is no streaking. So let me start over so you don't think I'm just making stuff up. Okay. You can also print bordered Unlike the others, this printer will not stop making noise all the time. With a tool,